are you with mapping out your goals? Is this something you do, or do you just kind of assume things will happen naturally? I am a big believer in mapping out your goals over the next 90 days on a quarter by quarter basis. I've seen the benefit that this has had, not just in my business, but in my clients' businesses. So today I'm going to cover with you why I think mapping out your 90 days is an excellent habit to get into. So firstly, welcome to my channel. My name is Bernadette and I am a wedding and creative business consultant, and I work with business owners who are looking to scale their business and get to that next level, learning how they can manage their life and get a handle on the strategy that is right for them. All too often we're following strategies from programs that are just not suited for a business to consumer industry like the wedding and creative sector. So I work with clients to really find ways for them to scale the business that is right for them. But let's get into it. Let's talk about why mapping out your 90 days is really beneficial for you. Before we do though, as always, if you prefer to read, then just down below you'll find a link over to my blog where you can see everything that I've covered with you today. There's also a link below for a free workbook that all of my clients use, which is my 90-day planning workbook. So you can download that there as well and get working on your goals for the next 90 days. So when I first started my business back in 2002, there was most definitely not much goal setting or planning at all. Everything was done on a whim, which is ironic considering I was planning weddings, a year, 2 years in advance, and everything was planned meticulously. And then in 2009, I started working with a coach. Yes, way before coaches became a thing. And I attended a 90-day workshop. And that was kind of my first little teaser into any kind of goal setting. I had done no goal setting prior to this at all. And it was a bit of a game changer for me, I have to say. And as a result, I encourage all my clients to embrace this. I know that 90-day planning works incredibly well for the wedding and creative industries, who invariably have peak seasons for inquiries and client work. Plus, with how fast trends happen and technology advances, it stands to reason that a yearly plan could well be irrelevant halfway through the year. So the 90-day planning helps you stay on track. I think it's important to recognize that when it is important to do a yearly plan, but that's the start, that's not the finish line. So having a yearly plan absolutely is really important for your business, but it is pointless if you don't have a strategy to reaching those targets. It's not enough to just put this in your yearly plan, do your vision board, and then just kind of sit back and think that it's going to naturally happen. This alone will not bring you success. So you have to break those goals down into tangible chunks. So just how will you get to that finish line? The problem with yearly planning is that you find that goals lose relevance, 6 months into the year. It can also be really overwhelming to look at everything that needs to get done. The year can go so fast, and then you begin to panic, and it leads to procrastination. So the thing is, if you're saying that you want to do something at the end of the year, there's no rush, is there? It'll get done when it gets done. So as I said, compare this to wedding clients who, or even interior design clients who will book you in advance. I mean, how often does their vision change? Changes all the time, doesn't it? Because we change as people. So think about what challenges that you could face in your business 6 months, 12 months time. So do have a yearly plan, but think about actually breaking that down into your 90-day chunks as well. So, why is it that 90-day planning works? So, quarterly planning is not a new strategy. Many industries map their goals every 90 days. If you think about it, the fashion industry has been doing this forever, planning and running their businesses by the seasons, as do journalists. They're planning their publications 3 months in advance. So, many industries naturally kind of adopt the 90-day quarterly planning model. And I think it's more important for more of us to think about how can we bring that into our sector as well. There's a lot of research that shows that working in 90 days at a time is really effective. So it's far more manageable. It helps you remain laser focused on your top goals without actually losing momentum. So from the 90 days, you can then plan out your month, plan out your week. And ideally, it will be a mix of marketing, sales, and of course, client work as well. Remember, if all you're doing is spending time on client work or pretty Instagram feeds, you're not going to find yourself with any bookings for the subsequent months. So taking the time to review your business at the end of each month is really important, and taking the time to review and reflect on your business every 90 days helps you move forward. So before you start, and I know that you're really eager, but if you haven't done so already, do have an idea of what your yearly goals are. If you haven't done that, look back on the channel. You should see a video here on how to map out your yearly goals, because it is important for you to have an idea of what your top goals are first. So what do you want your business to look like in 90 days? What steps can you take to help this happen? And is this aligned with your life and business vision? What goals are you committed? Are you dedicated to achieving, no matter what curveballs are thrown your way? So sometimes it can be helpful just to simply pick up a notebook and have a little bit of journaling before you do this. So the first step is reviewing and reflecting. So before we can move forward, we need to analyze what worked well the previous quarter and what we need to tweak. So here are some questions that you could ask yourself. So what inquiries did you receive this quarter? And out of those, what percentage of the inquiries have converted? Think about the orders that you received. Which ones were the most popular? Why do you think that is? Did you promote one service more than another? Maybe you hosted a special offer or exhibited at a show, and that's why you've had clients of a particular service. What are your financial numbers for this quarter? Think in terms of revenue and profit. Thinking back to your goals the previous quarter, which ones did you achieve? What marketing, PR, sales activities were successful? And what have you learned? What have you learned the past 3 months? And what will you do to change going forward? Okay, and then want you to think about what are your top goals for the next 3 months. I recommend choosing between 3 and 5. The number will depend on how big a goal is and also whether it's a peak season for you. So obviously reduce the number of goals if it's a really busy time with client work. So these are the goals that you're committed to achieve, and don't just write them down for the sake of it because I've asked you to. Do it because you're really committed and dedicated to achieving it, no matter what. So if it is a big goal, like a new website, as an example, then definitely do just reduce it down, because actually there's a lot of steps involved in that and it will take longer than you thought. You're then going to be breaking those goals down. So sometimes we can set ourselves like a very big goal, but we don't actually think about how we're going to make that happen. And part of a strategy is really thinking about the how. I mean, look, I'm all for woo-woo, absolutely, but actually that isn't enough. Yes, you do need to have a strong mindset and really believe in yourself, but also you need to have a strategy to make this happen. So what are your goals and how will you make that happen? What steps do you need to take to help that happen? So by spending some time breaking them down, it helps us determine what actionable tasks have to take place in order to get us that bit closer to that goal. So think about whether you need to learn a new skill, whether you need to outsource. Sometimes it could be quicker to delegate and outsource than it is to try and do it yourself, particularly if you're already juggling a busy business life and personal life as well. So it could be better to pay someone for short term for the longer term, more profitable goals. And don't forget to map out your time. So when you've got your 90 days, really think about how you're going to map that out. Are there things like school holidays you need to take into consideration? Perhaps you've got a client project that is coming to fruition, so you know that you've got less time. So really think about the goals you've set and how that's going to slot into the next 90 days, and what you will be doing. Maybe you're going to dedicate some time each week to actually work on those goals. Now, what I like to do is I go sort of like a step further, if you like. So when I've done my 90-day planning, I have a big whiteboard in my office. You can't see it, but it's, it's over there. And I then map out my month. So looking at my 90-day planning, what do I need to work on this month to get me closer to those goals? And I'm able to look at it every single day and really thinking about, okay, what can I do to get me closer? So I hope that has helped. Don't forget, click down below and you'll be able to download the workbook to help you do this. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to my little channel. And I hope to catch up with you soon. Why not share with me down below just one of your goals for the next 90 days? Until next time, bye.